Gary, does that Torquay game now seem a long, long time ago?
Yeah, what Torquay game's that?
The one last year?
Yeah, that's right. It does seem a long, long way away. You know, I was disappointed not to get the Kidderminster game in the Christmas period, but anyway, that's coming up soon now, and it's good that we've got a game coming up because you train all week and you want something at the end of it. You know, there's got to be something to train for, and all this week we've obviously had something to train for, and hopefully the weather will be kind to us and kind to Boreham Wood, and we can get the game on. But yeah, it does seem a long, long way away now.
And could actually that break on 2nd of January help one or two? Because obviously coming off the back of Christmas, there's always plenty of games and sort of bit of wear and tear.
Yeah, it might help one or two. It might have. I think we've got a pretty fit group, and I think our group are looking to play as many games as they enjoy playing the games. You know, they're footballers that enjoy playing football, and that's sometimes you get footballers that don't enjoy playing football. They enjoy being footballers more, and we haven't got any of them, I'm pleased to say. And so they're always looking forward to the games when they come around, and disappointed if they're not playing. So when you've got that type of lad, then they're always in their heads. They're keeping themselves sharp anyway. It's been difficult training, even though our services are decent because we've looked after them now with a new groundsman. They're still wet, very wet. So I've kept him out there, and I've tried to get him used to the mud, because I think we'll be playing in mud for the next month or so.
And does that mean you have to sort of look after them in any different way, because injuries can be picked up in those conditions? It's a more tiring condition, isn't it?
Yeah, they can be, but touch wood, we don't seem to get training ground strains and stresses. We work hard with our warm-ups. We work hard with our hydration. We've got a fitness regime, if you like, where we have a warm-up coach, and Ian Hutton and Gavin Crowe does a great job as well, the pair of them, making sure that the lads are in tip-top form and can do the rigours of the training as well as games. Because people are talking about Liverpool at the moment, aren't they? That suddenly Klopp has come in and give them a different game, which is a closing down game and a high pressing game, something they're not used to, and then all of a sudden you start getting pulled hamstrings and things. So that could be the case. He might just be unlucky, but we seem to be doing okay on that side of it. All our ones are knocks or whatever it is. So we're pretty pleased with our fitness regime.
Boreham Wood obviously fighting to stay above that dotted line at the moment. So, I mean, how do you assess their form? They seem to be struggling for goals as much as anything.
Yeah, they are struggling for goals at the moment, and they haven't had a great a run of wins, or a couple of wins on the trot that they would need to get themselves out of trouble. But they're still a half a decent side. They've got players that have been around a little bit, players that were pretty big names, 3 or 4 years ago, and it's a part of London almost where there's chimney pots. So there's a lot of people. There's a lot of teams there, but there's a lot of people to choose from. And on paper, they look a pretty decent National League side. And they've had a couple of good results. I mean, I look at highlights. Obviously, we have a look at the last couple of games as well. And listen, they're no mugs. That's really what I'm trying to say. And as always, we've got to go down there and do our stuff.
And the stuff that you have to do, does that change in the conditions of pitches at the moment?
Well, everybody's got a game manage. It could be some surface water if it rains during the game, and could be muddy, could be windy. At this stage of the season, the better player can game manage, and you have to pick and choose the right ball at the right time, the right run at the right time. the right team shape at the right time, you know. So we've been able to work on all that and keep working on all that, because really nothing's changed for us, except there might be a ball that has to be off the ground rather than on the ground, and the better players can choose the right options more often.
And are you confident you've got the characters here with those brains to make those decisions?
No. Yeah, of course I have it. Yeah, we have. There's a few sound a bit dopey sometimes when you interview them and that, but they're pretty clever football-wise, and that's why they are where they are at the moment, because we've got more clever ones than dopey ones.
Treatment room, Amari and Jack Bartram seem to be making a bit of progress with Gavin Crowe.
Yeah, two dopey ones, yeah. Yeah, they are making progress, and that's good. I mean, Amari will be champion at the bit to get playing. You know, he loves to play, needs to play, wants to score goals. You know, he's really frustrated, I should think, with such a big injury. Bart's hasn't been out so long, but he'll be looking forward to coming back. I think Bart's is probably a few days away. I don't know how many days, but we'll have to wait and see. And but Amari's still going to be weeks away as opposed to days.
Any other words? Obviously, Dan Holman signed, but not quite fit.
No, he's not quite fit, but he's making. He looks like a good healer. He's certainly doing things already that we didn't expect him to do, and he'll be looking forward to playing. He's suspended anyway against. Not suspended. He can't play against Oxford City because he's cup tied. So it'll give him every opportunity to get into our psyche and into our way of doing things, and by the time hopefully the kiddie comes around, then he'll be ready for selection.
Are you any closer on any more potential signings?
Well, no. Closer from when? From yesterday? Yes, maybe. Tomorrow it might be further away. It's just there's a lot of people talking to us at the minute. There's a lot of phone calls we're getting. Every agent in the country wants their players playing at a team that's top of the league, and if there's players out there that are at the bottom of the league and they can gain 30, 40, 50 points by coming and joining us over a season, then that's what people are trying to do. So we have to have a look at it, and we're looking at all scenarios and all options. But listen, there may be one or two, but at the moment there won't be an announcement today for Saturday.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks.
Were you surprised that you got one deal done so quickly? Was that in the plan?
Well, that was in the plan. We needed to do that quickly because his loan at Woking was up on the 2nd of January, and it was a loan, and we'd made contact with Colchester to make sure that we had an agreement with them. All we had to do, and Colchester didn't mind where he went, as long as they got what they wanted, and so all we knew, we had to just convince the player that this was the club for him. And from what I've seen and heard, and when I've talked to him, he's obviously made that decision, and he did have a decision to make, because there were, as you can see now, I think most people have seen his goals for Woking. You can see that at National League level, he's prolific. And so there would have been a lot of interest in him, but not only in the National League, but in the league as well. If I was a league manager now, I would have definitely have taken him.
Is it just one more position you're maybe looking at in January, or?
Yeah, one more position, yeah, just to give us that all-round cover. But then you still got to have people that can adjust and maybe go from a right centre-back to a right side of a 3 centre-backs, and then could play right back. Might be an holding midfielder. If you're going to have a small squad, which we are, a small quality squad, and I'm not moaning about the small squad, because we haven't got many people that are really disappointed that they're not getting games. And if you have too many people, you've got a group over here that are happy and love the manager, and you've got a group over there that are not happy and can't stand the manager because he's not seeing the best of them, sort of thing. So we haven't quite got that, and the people that are involved are very involved, and they're on the bench and they're playing, and we got a trophy coming up as well. So you know, we'll have to, people will get games that might not have got regular games there. I don't know that. I don't want anyone to panic and go, well, hold it, we want to win the trophy. I know the chairman wants to win the trophy, but listen, the most important trophy is the one for winning the league, getting promoted.
Would it be fair to say that this is, with 3 or 4 out, this is probably the most stretched the squad's going to be?
Yeah, this is today. Funny enough, today is the most stretched the squad has been, and because you know, next week you've got Barts and Holman that'll be back anyway. So we're having to juggle a little bit today, and although our 11 is still our strongest 11, and Asa Hall's been waiting in the wings for a long time now, and he's never let us down. He's been fantastic in his attitude. Kitschka, the goalkeeper, you know, he hasn't been able to play. So you've got those two, and then at the moment you've got Dates, who's had his odd, you know, games and cameo roles, and then you're into the young lads then. So you know, that's where we are at the moment, but we're doing all right.
Probably won't like this, but the Boreham manager's half your age.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
only
then.
30. He's the youngest manager in the top 5 divisions. Is that going to make you feel particularly old
I think the only advice I could give him is get out now. He wants to save his marriage and his life and his heart and all that sort of thing. No, listen, it is a good job to be in. You've got to get success along the way. You've got to find a club that's going to give you that success. Otherwise, you're always going to be scratching. Obviously, you've got to be good yourself in being able to recruit players and get a promotion on your CV, especially when you're young. My son's, you know, as you know, he's got into his management. He was lucky enough to get a league club pretty quickly as the youngest manager, and he's realising that there's obviously ups and downs, and the Boreham manager will as well, but the biggest thing on his mind will be to beat the old 60-year-old experienced manager of Cheltenham, and so it should be.
Is it an addiction being a football manager? Is it something you can't give up?
I think it is. I think it is because, I mean, I haven't been out of it that long in sort of 30 years. You know, I was manager when I was 35 or something at Cambridge when I started, assistant manager earlier than that. Yeah, I mean, my missus tells me it's an addiction anyway. And funnily enough, she swears every January she's going to go away for a month because she says, I change in January. And if you ask all the managers, it's so true, because the January windows, you ask any manager, does make an ogre of you, you know, and you are definitely not the same person. I'm all nice and, you know, polite and with you in front of the cameras and that. But I'm a raging, horrible bull when I get out there, and because you are taking calls, your mind's somewhere else, you know. I can't do the washing up tonight, darling. I can't make the bed. I'm sorry I ain't made the bed this morning, but I've got this centre half on in mind. I've got this centre forward. Anyway, she's got double bubble now, unfortunately, because she's now getting it from her son.
She must have been relieved that you got your number one target done. What, the
yeah,
on the
no,
4th
she
or
was
5th?
pleased with that, and she said, "Is that it now on the 2nd of January?" Like, no chance. No, but she deserves a medal. Actually, she deserves more accolade than me, really, because they put up with a lot these wives of managers.
Not only that, your carpet puts up with a lot as well.
Yeah, silly Pelly. Yeah, it does, but. She said he better be good. And to be fair,
jury's out, is it?
Yeah, to be fair, he has been good. So yeah, it was a small price to pay, coffee carpet to get him in. He's done well. He's done well for us.
Excellent.
No problem.